All the zombie apocalypse movies are the same, right? We have the zombies who travel in herds. Their only goal in life is to make everyone that's not a zombie, and walk around doing nothing all day. A la I Am Legend, Resident Evil, 28 Days Later, Fear the Walking Dead. Then you have the survivors who didn't catch the zombie bug. They're fighting for their lives and doing their best not to become a zombie because being a zombie is bad, for your health and for your life. In essence, I believe our lives are just like the movies. The question is, though, which role do you want to play? Zombie or survivor?
Hey, queens. Yeah, you. You know who you are. God, come on. Go ahead and put that crown on your head. Now tilt a little to the left. Now a little to the right. Perfect. Now let's get to work. Because we know you got big goals. And you got big dreams and not afraid to let them know. Why? Because you step into your purpose. You speak out on your faith. And you shift up in your journey. Because you a boss. Welcome to the podcast, Drop the Expiring Act with your host, Belly of QueenBayGoals.com. Reminding you that you are a queen before anything else. It's your life and your goals. Make it royal. All right, y'all. Go ahead and work that crown.
Hey, Queen Bays. Welcome to another episode of the Drop This by Night podcast. We are continuing with the fear theme this week in our Don't Give Two F's series. And today, if you haven't guessed it, it's all about fear. And in this case, it's about fear in relation to our mindset. That's why I started the podcast with the zombie versus survivors reference. So let's get into it. If you have ever watched any of these zombie apocalypse movies, they're all the same. You got the zombies and you got the survivors, right? The zombies always outnumber the survivors. The zombies' main goal is to make anybody that's not a zombie. And when they're not doing that, they're walking around in herds with dopey looks on their faces just existing. This thought made me think of us as aspirers, right? Every time we try to step out of zombie mode and wake up and try to do something different or break from the herd, there's always someone who tries to steer you back in the right direction, right? And I said that with air quotes because how dare you try to do anything other than what everyone else is doing? How dare you step out of line? How dare you step out of the misery that we're all in? How dare you try to survive doing something different, being something different, thinking something different? You think you're better than the rest of us zombies? Now, don't misconstrue what I'm saying, because I know there are a lot of people out there who love their jobs, right? And everybody's not meant to be an author. Everybody's not meant to be an entrepreneur. Everybody's not meant to be on some creative career path. And I talked about, being robots, I think last week when I talked about, the movie Surrogates, right? I don't expect us to be living in a world where we're carbon copies of each other just walking around. I know better, right? But the truth is, there are a lot of us who aspire to do more, to be more, to think more. And every time we set a foot out of alignment into the path that we know that we're destined for, one of those zombies sticks their head out and they're ready to pounce, right? They're ready to bite, ready to give you another dose of the virus, because it's no way that you're supposed to be anything other than a zombie. So in this episode, I wanted to talk to you about how to be a survivor, right? How to make that mindset shift that allows you to go from zombie mode to survivor mode. Because the only way that you're going to get out of zombie mode is one, if you believe, right? And we talked about belief last week in the episode, faith over fear. Finding your faith first. So this is step number 2, right? Where we have to shift our mindset, because we can't expect a different life believing the same things we believed yesterday, or thinking the same things we thought yesterday, or doing the same things we did yesterday. In next week's episode, we'll talk more about the doing when we get into habits. But right now we're sticking with mindsets, right? And we're sticking with the mindset that is required to get you into your true alignment. And that requires shifting your thinking. Zombies don't want you to listen to my podcast. So if anyone tells you, girl, why are you listening to this podcast? You already know. Don't get bitten. Just walk away and press play. And that takes us into tip number 1, which is recognize the zombies. When you start doing things that breaks the norms or makes you feel uncomfortable, you start making other people uncomfortable. And when other people are uncomfortable because of your action or because of your stepping outside of the box, that's more to do with their mindsets than yours, right? Going back to the growth mindset versus a fixed mindset that we talked about in season 1. People who have the fixed mindsets, they're not ready for a change, right? It's not time for them to change. They're zombies. They like to live on repeat every day, right? Nothing about their life bothers them, or I should say, nothing about their life bothers them enough to require them to make a shift, right? But when you start Google searching, how to write my best-selling novel, when you start ordering books about how to get your first 5 figures in business, when you start telling people, hey, I started a side hustle right while I'm still doing this 9 to 5, the zombies, they're going to look at you like, she has the audacity to think that she deserves a way out of this limited existence. How dare she? But really what it is how dare me for not building up the courage to start. That's what they're thinking, right? And they start to project their own fears onto you. So that's why I say recognize the zombies. Recognize the people who do that to you. And you know the ones, right? The ones who give you the side eye when you're talking about a new book that you've read. The ones who are always asking, what's going on with your little business, right? While they're twisting their necks. Those are the ones that you keep out your business, okay? Number 2, stop sharing your escape plans with the zombies, right? Stop sharing your escape plans a la your goals. Do not share them with the zombies. So that always makes me think of, when I wrote that made me think of, in the corporate world, you have to take those trainings. And there's one called the active shooter training. And I always think, and it's not funny, but I always laugh when I think about it. We're here sitting watching this active shooter training, right? But the person who is probably the active shooter is watching the same damn training you're watching. So it's like, okay, they're going to get the same tips that you're getting. They're going to know the things that you're supposed to do when an active shooter is present. So it's like they're giving them the playbook, right? And it's not like they can say, okay, all of y'all, you can take the active shooter training, but you don't take it, right? It's not like they can single out that one person because nobody knows who that one person is. But that's just what I thought of when I wrote it. And that's what I'm telling you, right? Don't do that, right? Stop sharing your escape plans with the zombies. So there's a side tip to that tip. Act like a zombie, but act like a zombie in the company of zombies, right? You know that scene in the movie, right? The survivor, he runs into a pack of zombies, and what does he do? He starts acting like a zombie, right? He puts a dumb look on his face. He puts his hand out. He starts moaning like whatever the plot is in the movie or whatever the zombies do in that movie. He starts doing it. He starts blending in. He starts looking like a zombie. So now they're not going to attack him because what? He's a zombie just like they are, right? And what does that survivor do? They stay in that zombie mode until they see the way to get out. So that's what I want you to do. When you're around other people who are zombies, act like you're a zombie in their presence. And that doesn't mean that your dreams die, right? That doesn't mean that you don't keep working towards your dream. But what it does mean, right, is if you don't want the naysayers and their negative energy to bring you down, control the people that are in your space. And when you can't control them, especially in places like, at work or at home, blend in. And blend in until you can make your escape. And when you make your escape, this is the last tip, right? Number 3, find your survivor tribe. There are people out there just like you who are aspiring to be authors or entrepreneurs or business owners, because everybody doesn't want to run their own business, right? Or some people, they still love their 9 to 5, so they just want to do like a little side hustle thing. Find them. Share your goals with them. Share your progress with them. Share your struggles with them. They'll be the ones to cheer you on, to celebrate your wins, big or small, and to give you advice when you need it because you're all on the same path. Your stories might not look the same. Your journeys might not look the same, but you all have a common goal that you're working towards. So find people who are doing those same things like you are and get into that space with them. Find your survivor tribe. Okay? So that's the 3 tips that I want to give you today. Recognize the zombies. Stop sharing your escape plans or your goals with the zombies. And the side tip to that, you already know, is to act like a zombie when you're in the presence of zombies. And number 3, find your survivor tribe. Okay? Because that's how you're going to start to shift your mindset when you are starting to look into, okay, hey, how do I write my bestseller? How do I start my business, right? When you start getting into research mode and you start sharing things with people, the people who are not for you, the people who want to give you their negative energy, they're going to step up, right? They're going to show out. They're going to get a little bold with some of the things that they say to you. Recognize those people and just don't entertain them. That's not going to help you or help them. So don't entertain them. All right, so that's it. That's my spill for the week. Before I go, I wanted to invite you to two things. So one is, I was thinking about it as I was doing this, and I was like, maybe I need to start building a survivor tribe. So I said I'm going to create a space for goal-oriented women over in Facebook as a Facebook group that's attached to the Queen Bay Goals page. So I'm going to create I already have it created and set up, and it's called Hey Goal Friends. But I'll leave a link below so you guys can check it out. So I'm trying to create a space where, you're around goal-oriented people, where you can come and share your goals. You can come and share the things that you're working on. You can come and share your wins and come and share your struggles, because there might be somebody else in the group who is going through the same thing, or they've been through the same thing and can give you advice on, how you can get out of that headspace. So I am just starting building this group. So if you go over there and you see it says it's 2 people in there, just know it's a group that I'm just starting to build. So come over and join us. And the other thing that I wanted to invite you to was our girls chat. So January, I started a girls chat because I saw this video on feminine energy. And I was like, ooh, some of the things that were said in the video, I just wanted to talk about. I wanted to hear other women's perspective on. And since then, I've just been adding a girl chat every month. So this March, the girl chat is on March 21st. And this month's topic is, are equal rights equal when it comes to reproduction? So there are 2 videos in the event that I want you to watch. It's not very long videos. And we'll just discuss it on March 21st. Last month's topic, we were talking about Bridgerton. If you have watched the steamy hot, what do they call it? Soft porn, I think that's what they call it. Bridgerton, that's on Netflix. If you watched that, oh my God, we talked about it last month on Super Bowl Sunday, no less. And we ended up going into 2 Zoom calls. So when the first Zoom call ended, we weren't even done yet. So we had to restart the call, and everybody else came back on, and they joined again, and we continued the conversation. It was it was a lot in that conversation, but it was very fun. I like them. So come over and join us for this March Girls Chat, which is about, our equal rights equal when it comes to the reproductive system. And check out the videos that's in the link, and then we'll talk about it on March 21st. All right, so last but not least, it's time for the quote of the podcast, which is, if you've watched I Am Legend, you've seen the scene where, Will Smith was talking to the female lead, and he basically said he got the quote from Bob Marley, which is, light up the darkness. So here's my twist on the quote, because I love to do it. My twist on the quote is, light up the darkness with your light. Right? Light up the darkness with your light. The world is waiting for you to shine your light. The world is waiting for you to write that book. We're waiting for you to start that business. We're waiting for you to share your voice. We're waiting for you to share your songs. We're waiting for you to share your dance. We're waiting for all of it. We're here for it. So light up the darkness with your light. And one more thing before we go. I said that was the last thing, but there's one more thing before we go. Because I was just having a bit of fun, especially for this episode. And I typed in, Google, how to kill a zombie. I just wanted to see what the answers were going to be on how to kill a zombie, right? The number 1 search result said, to kill zombies, you need to destroy their brains. So thank you, Portland Mercury, for that one. And the other one that I saw said, over time, though this trope evolved into what we know today, the only way to take out a zombie is to get to the head. And that was canvas.seattlecentral.edu shared that one. So, the first one said destroy your brains, and the other one said get into the head, right? Which takes us back into this entire episode, which is about mindsets, and start to create that mindset shift and protecting your space from the zombies, because you want to start fighting for your life, and you want to go out there and create and be the light in the darkness. In order to do that, you have to shift your mindset, and you have to protect it from other people who just aren't ready for that mindset shift. So it takes me back into, the very beginning of this episode, when I said, your life is just like the movies. And the question is, which role do you want to play, right? Zombie or survivor?
You have been listening to another episode of Drop the Aspiring Act. If you're looking for more information of this podcast and other episodes, please visit queenbaegoals.com. That's QueenBaeGoals.com. All right, y'all. I'll see you in the next podcast.